live number 2. Please check out my earlier live from this morning pertaining to Sebastian Rogers, where I asked the question, did Katie Proudfoot and Sebastian make it home on February 25th, 2024? And if they did not make it home from the steakhouse, where did they go? This is a continued conversation pertaining to the disappearance of this boy child missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. On Wednesday, it will mark 1 year to the date that a call went into the dispatch by Katie Proudfoot and her husband, Chris, that their son was missing. Where is Sebastian Rogers? Let's keep his name alive and in the forefront of the public, because his life matters. The truth matters. This commentary that you're about to hear is from about 2 months ago, around his birthday. And this is where Sheriff Craddock lets the world know he has information pertaining to the disappearance of this boy child, but will not release it to the public as not to prejudice the case. What is that information? Welcome to the Vault XL.
The Amber Alert remains active, and now nearly 10 months after Sebastian Rogers disappeared, those leading the search effort say no one is giving up.
It's not a cold case. It's an active and ongoing investigation.
Sumner County Sheriff Eric Craddock has been on the case since Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville home back on February 26th. Since then, hundreds of tips have been investigated, and to date, there still have been no confirmed sightings. In that vacuum, rumors continue to run rampant online from less than credible sources.
Well, it's real easy to sit on social media and make those comments.
Sheriff Craddock says investigators deal with facts, seeking evidence and hard leads. There have been few official updates in recent months, but the sheriff says investigators meet weekly about the case.
I've been pretty transparent. There is some information that's just not releasable, right? And that's only because any information released could be prejudicial to the case.
There you have it. Finally, it was said. We have information. What is that information? Let's go back, everybody.
There is some information that's just not releasable, right? And that's only because any information released could be prejudicial to the case. And a successful resolution is my ultimate goal.
There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about Sebastian.
EMA Director Ken Widener has headed up search efforts around Sebastian's home and beyond from the very beginning. And it is his team that stands ready to act on any credible lead that comes from the tip line.
We have K-9 on standby. We have search teams on.
Much still remains open. And to date, nothing has been ruled out, including the possibility of foul play. And on that note, District Attorney Ray Whitley tells me he gets updates on the case nearly every week, and he does stand ready to prosecute if it ever comes to that. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
If need be to prosecute someone, the prosecutor's ready. Weekly meetings pertaining to Sebastian Rogers. Folks on standby for Sebastian Rogers. Information Mr. Craddock has, Sheriff Craddock has. What is that information? Well, now, the plot thickens. I had not seen this interview a few months ago because, as I had told many of you, I wasn't going to be discussing the case unless something came about, and somehow I did miss this interview, so forgive me for bringing it to you late, but as they say, better late than never. This is Sheriff Craddock. He is the sheriff, Hendersonville, Tennessee, local county sheriff. And he tells us in this interview, you heard it here live, feel free to play it back. It's also on my community page for verification, because I know there's going to be somebody that's got something to say and argue about. Always. And what do I tell you? Don't come to me with it. Take it to the news. So You don't even have to take it to the news. You don't even have to take it to this Mr. Barris. You can take it to this horse right here. There you go, right there. Like Memorex. I got information, but I don't want to tell you what it is. That's not to prejudice the case. So as I said in my live this morning, number one, what is the information? Number two, will it prejudice the parents, one of the parents, all three of the parents, outside source, or to help all three, or 1, 2, 3? Which is it? Any, miny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. Shut your mouth. Now, I'm sure with all the scrutiny that these parents have caught, because all three of them have been in the hot seat, the Proudfoots and Mr. Rogers, everyone is wondering, well, what is the information? And if you're innocent, naturally, you don't have anything to worry about. Isn't that right? You have nothing to hide. You have nothing to be concerned about. You can sit on easy street with your legs and wait on the information. So what is the information? I am hoping that there is an arrest soon. And when I mean soon, I mean soon. I mean soon. In our minds, we tell ourselves, why does it take so long? What's taking so long? Why don't you have something? Well, perhaps they have had something from day 1, day 5, week 2, week 3, and they're putting all their eggs in a basket. And so they can wrap a bow on the basket, hand it to the district attorney for a charging indictment. Amen. Is the information going to harm one of the parents, implicate one of the parents? Because a lot of us believe that the Proudfoots are involved due to their murky behavior since going live and telling the world that their son is missing, and then fell off, and then fell on YouTube like a bunch of junkies wanting attention, and then fell off. Is it information implicating Christopher and Katie Proudfoot? Or just one? Or Seth Rogers? Some will say, well, don't leave Seth out. Okay, I'll put Seth in there too. Although I don't think Seth's involved, but that's my public. Mr. Craddock, what is it? Give us a hint, please. I'm begging you. Give us a hint. Could it be that somebody was seen doing something they ain't had no business? Shut your mouth. Woo, have mercy. Somebody's car was going somewhere it didn't have no business. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody texted somebody something that sounded suspicious. Somebody was somewhere where they said they were not. Ding, ding, ding. Somebody was in the area when they were supposed to be in Memphis, Tennessee. Somebody's truck was found somewhere when it was supposed to be in Memphis, Tennessee. Come on, Quay. Somebody GPS put them somewhere they ain't had no business, and they didn't tell they were there. Did it kind of go like that, Sheriff Craddock? Somebody left behind some evidence in that house. Ooh. Oh, somebody left behind some evidence in that truck. Did we take the body in the truck? Katie, I'm talking to you. You were last seen with the child. And I'm always going to lean toward the last person with the child because that's how it usually goes. Whoever the caretaker provider is, where you look first. And they will tell you that with law enforcement. We always look inward first, and then we work our way out. So we're going to work our way from inside and make our way outside. And right now, it stays inside, in my opinion. Ain't no outside nothing. No, boo-boo. It starts with the grand poobah, Katie Proudfoot. Because she's the mother of the child, the caregiver of the child, the one who's with the child the most, the one who would have the problem with the child. Katie, you got something you want to say? Before Sheriff Craddock decides to spill the tea. Bad girl, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I said that. If she unalived her child, did she get help? And that's where the outside will come in. I can't do this by myself. I can't do this by myself. I need help. Accident. Intentional. Check out the video from yesterday. Check out the video this morning, rather. Check it out. Because I'm laying out everything pertaining to this kid. Everything. From start to finish. So each day I will bring you content on a hypothetical, a question pertaining to Sebastian Rogers and his disappearance. Is the child alive or deceased? Human traffic, sold, hidden, alive, dead. And as I said, why would somebody hide him out? Amber Alert, you're in possession of a child, you're going to jail. Who's going to take that risk? Why would he be in somebody's possession? Who wants a 15-year-old, 16-year-old autistic kid? Not to be nasty, but let's keep it real. If the mom and daddy didn't want him, y'all better wake up, because I'm woke. Then why would somebody else want him? You're going to pay somebody to keep the kid? Why? I tell people you don't think. Always think before speaking, because thinking should not really require any effort. But some people cannot think. If the mother and father didn't want the kid, why would some schmo Joe out here want him? You think they wouldn't ask you for money to keep him? Come on now, you all, wake up. Then the person's going to ask, well, what you want me to keep him for? For what reason? I got my own problems. Bingo card. Exactly. So remove that one. Human traffic, remove that one. No break-ins, no breakout. So that leaves accident, intentional homicide, and he ran away. I don't think he ran away because his life was at that address, 1008 Stafford Court. Remove that one. That leaves intentional, accidental. So did this mother intentionally kill her kid? Or it was an accident, they got the tussling, they got the fighting, he became unruly, the mother popped off, unalived the kid, panicked, she needed help getting rid of the kid, called her husband, called a relative, called somebody, they came to help, took out the kid, dumped the kid, and here we are. This is where we are, everybody. A whole kid missing. No sightings, nowhere. So because she was the last one with the child. Ma'am, where's your child? Where's your kid? Aren't you tired of playing this game? It's got to be daunting at some point. But then you have to remember, when people are crazy and they're sick, they get a jolt out of this type of bullshit. It's not saying they're not nervous, they're not worried about getting arrested, but they're also relieved because they've got a problem. And people murder people every day. As one of the commenters said under my video, why is it that you all can't accept the fact that she unalived her kid? What's the big deal? People kill people every day. Exactly. What's so special about Katie Proudfoot? Help me understand. She and her husband, Chris. Just like somebody said, well, Queen, you don't know him. And I'd come back with, you don't know him either. Ain't nothing special about that girl. Ain't nothing special about that stringy-haired bat. Nothing. Or that Teletubby she lays with. These people got daunting histories from start to finish. They are hanging on to a thread, and most of you should know this. They weren't happy people. That's why we're here. And if you notice that with true crime, that's the catalyst of the crime. Somebody wasn't happy with somebody for whatever reason. And now the person is either missing or they're dead. It's not rocket science. Don't need a Webster dictionary. Don't need a thesaurus. Don't need AI or Meta or Google to put 2 and 2 together. Somebody at Stafford Court wasn't happy with a 15-year-old kid. Checkmate. Somebody got tired of dealing with him. Somebody didn't want to wait to see if he was going to get to Seth's house, sent off, put in a home, whatever the hell they were trying to negotiate. Somebody said, hell no, I'm tired. Check. Ain't no more negotiating. Ain't no more talking. And don't you think it's obvious? The child goes missing, and then all of a sudden we cut Seth Rogers off. Ding, ding, ding. That's flag number 1. Oh, you ain't talking to the father? Why not? I ain't got nothing to say to him. I ain't got nothing to say to the daddy. You ain't got nothing to say to the daddy because you done got rid of the kid. Because they are evenly yoked. Because you can't have Seth without Sebastian, and you can't have Sebastian without Seth. And they knew that. And they know that. That's why I said they laid the blueprint. All you got to do is pay attention. You cut off one, you cut off the other. Woo, shut your mouth. You cut off one, you cut off the other. It's a lifeline. They're evenly yoked. They were at the hip. So when I get rid of this kid, I ain't got no use for Seth Rogers. How y'all miss that? I ain't missed that. I'm 54, baby. I've been on top of this dirt a long time. And the one thing I know people. And the other, we are predictable. Say it again, Queen. Because somebody sleep way, way in the back. We are predictable creatures. We work by habit. And old habits die hard. Kind of like having messy in-laws. Now, pay attention, because somebody's still asleep back there. I get rid of this husband, this wife. Woo! I get rid of the messy in-laws. Checkmate. Come on with it, Queen. Somebody don't understand. Say it again, Queen. I get rid of this wife. I get rid of this husband, either by divorce or you know what. I get rid of them too. What's that old saying? Even swap ain't no swindle. Even swap ain't no swindle. I get rid of this wife. I ain't got to keep listening to them in-laws no more. They out of the way. She's out of the way. So I kind of link it just like Sebastian and Seth. I get rid of the kid. I get rid of the ex-husband. But guess what? Let's flip the coin, because now I'm getting ready to really stir the pot, because somebody going to say, oh, shit, Queen, where you going now? Oh, I'm getting ready to go to Belly the Beast, because I'm going to do something that I bet you ain't heard nowhere on YouTube. I get rid of the kid, so I don't got to deal with Seth either again. Damn. Hot damn. Since Christopher wants to tell the news first interview, we're all get along and we talk and blah, blah, blah. Oh, but when the kid go missing, you quit talking to Seth. So as I sit here now talking to you, my brain is storming, because that's what I do. I stay in rotation. Could it be somebody got rid of the kid as not to have to deal with Seth? Because what did Coffin Daffer say in that video I played this morning to Court TV? That everything's a version coming from Katie Proudfoot, just like the version they gave the news. That we all talk, we get along, we speak. He's a good kid, but now I'm getting ready to show you the lies that they have spun. Are you holding on to your seat? Because you're talking about putting him in a group home. Checkmate. You couldn't have got along with Seth and been so friendly and cordial as you claimed in that news interview, because you cut him off when the boy went missing. Boom, 2 lies. Shall I go on? Come on with it, Queen. See, the one thing Queen does, I listen. See, I don't listen to all that he said, she said shit. See, you get messed up listening to all that hypotheses and coulda, woulda, shoulda. Queen don't work like that. I deal with the real world. I don't deal with unicorns and UFOs and all that old type of bullshit. No, baby. Queen stays right down here on earth, and I deal with what I see and what I hear. Because that's all I can judge you on. And that's what I'm judging these two jokers on. You have lied to the public. You lied in your first interview about your actual relationship, number one, with Seth Rogers. You also lied about your child and your relationship. Okay? You lied. And you've been now caught. And matter of fact, you were caught then in my eye. I'm not jaded. This is why I tell people you have to listen to what people say. And you also have to listen to what they don't say. And so far, they have lied to the public about their relationship with Seth Rogers and the child. You didn't want the child. You didn't care for the child. Because there is no need to be putting a child in what I would call foster care, basically. You want to put your child in a group home for disabled adults or disabled children. Why? What has he done so terrible that warrants him going to a group home? I'll wait. It shouldn't even been no discussion. But what did you say, Christopher? He's a good kid. Him a good kid. He must not have been. You trying to put him somewhere. So what did you decide, you and Katie? Fuck it. We're going to put him somewhere permanently. We ain't got to worry about him. We ain't got to have the people calling us. We ain't got to go get him for the weekend. We ain't got to pretend we care. We ain't got to bring him home and post videos for Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Ding, 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 ding. Anybody woke? Because I'm woke. See, this is also about appearances. I don't got to put up a front no more to people, friends, family, the community. I keep acting like I care. See, that's the thing people act like they don't understand about dealing with people. When you deal with people, you are putting up an appearance, okay? When you walk outside with your children and your husband and your wife, you're putting up an appearance. It's up to you, the appearance that you reveal. Because in the end, everything is about what? Perception? Exactly. So I ain't got to put up appearances no more. I ain't got to pretend I like this kid. I think the child was a disappointment to the mother and also to the step-paw, which nobody gives a fuck what Christopher Proudfoot thinks because he don't like nobody because he don't even like his damn self. That's why he ain't nothing but a big old round-ass bully. He's a hard-nosed, he's a wannabe badass, but guess what? He ain't nothing but Jello. Shut your mouth. I know his kind. I see his kind every day. To me, he's like a big ball of lint. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. He's all talk, all fluff. You would have rolled up on Christopher Proudfoot one-on-one, he ain't about to break bread. He ain't about to do shit because talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. He didn't make it in any of his marriages. Don't you find that strange? A man that's not even 50 years old has been married 5 times. Where are those wives? Did they have outside children? How did he get along with those children? Well, we learned from Nina, they didn't have a successful marriage. She's definitely the proof in the Jello, not the pudding. Shut your mouth. Putting his hands on her children. She got pregnant by this fool. He didn't even want the damn baby. And then somebody will say, well, damn, Queen, that don't really make no sense. Why would he even date a woman with children? Exactly. Because he's looking at the mother, he ain't looking at the kids. What do they always say? Oh, yeah. No, it ain't. That's your perception. That a woman or child or a woman or man with kids is a package. You all better wake up. You better wake up. It's only a package deal if the person is receptive to the package. But if you ain't receptive to the package, the child is obsolete. And you see it every day, especially in true crime. Mommy, daddy brings in somebody, and that somebody don't jive with the child, and all hell breaks loose. And then you're hearing stories of child abuse and neglect, CPS calls, CPS visits, so on and so forth. Next thing you know, we got somebody missing, or we got somebody dead, or we got somebody severely injured in the hospital. Shall I go on? So the package don't mean a damn thing. It's an illusion. And that's what's been going on at 1008 Stafford Court. And before that, see, you got to go back in the belly of the beast. What was going on out in California when she was dating this joker and had a small boy child in tow with her? How was he treating the child? How was he talking to the child? How was Katie Proudfoot talking to a child? Because as I said in my earlier video, please check it out. It's a very good live stream. You don't really know how Katie was talking to Sebastian. Because what do I always say on this network? Out of sight is out of mind. You can't see, you can't hear what's going on behind closed doors. Ain't no telling how that woman was talking to that boy. And he didn't have no options. All he had were his parents. And then mommy moves all the way down here to Tennessee with this little Teletubby to play house. And years later, because these some long years now. These some long years. All of a sudden, okay, now it ain't really working out. Because possibly it wasn't working out when he was a small child in the relationship with Mommy and Mr. Proudfoot. Who's going to tell you that? I've been loathing this kid ever since I met the mother. Because Mr. Proudfoot probably loathes every child that he comes in contact with. But he's not going to tell you that. The mother's not going to tell you, yeah, I saw signs that Christopher wasn't right for me. He didn't treat my kid well. Hell, I don't treat my kid well. So now you got to decide who is the orchestrator of the mistreatment. Was it Katie or was it Christopher? Or they both evenly yoked? Check a box. Check a box. Because everybody's been putting all the blame on Christopher Proudfoot as the ringleader, the you fail to realize he's not the kid's father. The kid has a mother. So you got to go in the belly of the beast from day one, not day 15, not 15 years of age, but day one. Hello, Evie. You got to go back in time from birth, carrying the baby, birth, leaving the child with the father, doing her military thing, coming back. How does she relate to the kid? How does she bond with the kid? I believe it was said she didn't really bond well with the kid. If that's true, that's a problem. So that's a problem before Christopher Proudfoot. Stay woke. That has nothing to do with Christopher Proudfoot. If the father can say, well, I could tell she really didn't bond with the kid after birth. She went into the military. Some will say, well, she was goal-driven. Perhaps she never bonded with her child. And on this fateful day, which I believe is the 25th, somebody checked out. I don't know exactly what was going on in this house, but I don't think it was positive. I don't think nobody was happy in this house. And I think most of you know what happens when people are not happy. Terrible things happen. Terrible things happen when people are not happy. And this was a desperate moment by Katie and Christopher Proudfoot, because I believe they're both evenly yoked at the hip. They got rid of this kid. That's why you haven't found him. That's why you don't know where he is. I don't know if this joker here, Mr. Craddock, don't take it personal, sir. Perhaps this sheriff knows more. He and his constituents, TBI, detective one, whichever, is proof in the pudding. You can get 5, 6, 7 people involved in a crime, and they hold a secret. So for all we know, there's more people down in Middle Tennessee know exactly where Sebastian is. We ain't got to name no names, but you get where I'm going. Somebody checked out, somebody was tired. Somebody became desperate, somebody put a plan in motion. Man, I ain't doing this no more. I ain't holding on to faith. I ain't holding on to hope. Me, my husband's not home. So you got to weigh all those things. This man wasn't even staying in his own house where he paid a mortgage. And maybe you all don't really know what that's like. Not that I'm trying to toot Mr. Proudfoot's horn, but it's common sense. Nobody wants to pay a high mortgage in a house that they can't stay in. So if the rumors are true of CPS reports, allegations, the man couldn't stay there or decided not to stay there, he became tired as well. Okay? He got tired as well. Hey, I'm paying a mortgage at his house. I can't even go sleep in my house. When I get out from work, I got to stay down here in an RV park. And I'm sure he got tired of that, because you have to pay to stay in an RV park. It's not free. Everybody's going home to their loved ones on the weekend, perhaps. Christopher Proudfoot says, I can't go home because I ain't allowed to go home. Or it's not in my best interest. However it goes, I don't know. But there's no reason for a man not to go home. He's only 3.5 hours away. As he would say, door to door. Less than 3 hours, less than 3.5 hours. So you have to weigh that as well. Why this man is not going home on the weekends. Why they are talking about putting a kid in a group home or a home for wayward children. Weigh it however you want. It ain't a good look. It don't sound good. So I factor all those things in. Cutting the father off a month after the child is missing or less, not talking to the news, radio, not advocating for the child, not speaking about the child, jumping on YouTube, making a donkey's ass out of yourself, talking bad about the child, Mr. Proudfoot. Those are all signs shit was bad at Stafford Court. You can't see that there's something wrong with you. Because when you go back in time and look at all these true crime cases of abused children, all the time. All the time. You hear these stories every time something bad happens to a child, such as the situation up in Pontiac, Michigan. DHS was involved at some point. A mother was taking a father to court, or he was taking her to court to get rights, to see a kid, this and that. A father had one of the children. Then ago, a landlord and the police go in the apartment and find it deplorable, with boo-boo everywhere, and 3 kids walking around smelling like fecal matter. See, there are always precursors. It's just a matter of somebody stepping in to say, hey, I see you have, how can I help? Somebody should have known that Sebastian was in dire need. And I think now it's too late. Mosey on over here, out west, same thing. Texas, 19-year-old autistic girl. I'm going to bring you that story later. 2 people are playing dumb like they didn't know there was a dead person sleeping on a concrete floor, balled up in a fetal position, nonverbal. Oh, I don't know anything. I thought she was gone. Oh, yeah, she's gone. She's dead gone. One person, next person. Oh, I ain't seen her in a year, but yeah, she's in the bedroom dead. Okay, whatever you say. Then we find out there was a wellness check on the house in 2021. So you see what I'm trying to explain to you is that most of these cases that end up with the child being removed from the house, child abuse, neglect, or dead or missing, DHS was always in the picture at some point or the other. Somebody cried wolf. Either the child, a teacher, a neighbor, a schoolmate, a relative, somebody that visited the house, somebody that was around the child, somebody made a call. So this case is no different. This case is no different. This is why I keep saying, why are you shocked? Because there are always precursors. It's just a matter of whoever's close to the child, they're paying attention. Somebody didn't pay attention. Bottom line. And you can't go back. As I said with the Pontiac, Michigan case, I just said it the other day, doing my last live about that subject. I said, on my post, you can go to my post and check it. It's in ink. I said, imagine how many other children are living just like this and we don't know nothing about it. Poof, voila. It ain't even a week later. We're now in Texas to a girl sleep in a cold bedroom, nonverbal, 19, malnourished, wounds on her body, bleed to been dead 4 to 24 hours. They're not really sure. Outline was of her body on the concrete because she had been laying there so long and body went into rigor mortis. You understand what I'm saying? That's the point. That there's going to be another Sebastian. There's going to be another Delilah. There's going to be another Pontiac, Michigan. It's just a matter of when the people are caught. When they are caught with their foot in a trap. Child abuse, child neglect, adult abuse. So you sit here and you think about that. There's another Sebastian missing somewhere. There's going to be another Sebastian missing. There's going to be another case like Pontiac, Michigan. There's going to be another Delilah. There's going to be another Harmony Montgomery. There's going to be another Quentin Simon because it's going on right now. Somebody has an eye view of the abuse and they ain't doing nothing. They ain't saying nothing. But they're going to come cry to the news later and give us a story like what the Honest telling us about little Delilah. Oh, I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't say anything. You know, I wasn't around my sister. Well, you should have. Because I'm going to tell you how it went. Bet you the sister, the mother, she's now arrested, 41 years of age. Bet you she was on social media talking. But that 19-year-old nonverbal autistic kid was nowhere in the picture. How about that? Bet you if we go to her Facebook page right now, you ain't seeing a picture, a video of this kid, this 19-year-old. Because it ain't no telling how long she had her up in that damn room, locked up. The room, the door stayed closed. So this grandmother and great uncle, they are full of shit. To act like they didn't know what happened to the girl. It's a wonder it didn't happen here in Hendersonville. Severe child abuse, neglect, starving a kid, locking a kid up. Because frankly, it was on its way, in my opinion, because the boy didn't have no friends. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't fraternize. He didn't do any school activities or activities in the neighborhood or in the community. Why not? So what? He has autism. He can talk. You want me to sit here and believe he didn't have no interest? But what did Christopher Proudfoot tell us during the interview? No, the mother at the end. She says, he's smart. I caught that right there at the end. Huh? Just out of nowhere, she says, he's smart. Was kind of a weird statement. Huffing and puffing, play crying like the Tin Man. And then out of nowhere, before the interview ends, Katie says, oh, he's smart, looking down at the floor. Another thing, no eye contact with the reporter. I paid attention to all of that. You might want to go check that interview out, 22 long. The Proudfoots told you what was going on in that interview, but you have to listen. See, some of you are not good at listening because you're too busy thinking about other shit. You're thinking about your own life. You're thinking about other situations, your appearances. That don't got nothing to do with the truth. That's your ideology. That's not the truth. Shit was bad at 1008 Stafford Court. It's obvious. And this video, sheriff tells us, I got the tea.
Months after Sebastian Rogers disappeared, those leading the search effort say no one is giving up.
It's not a cold case. It's an active and ongoing investigation.
Sumner County Sheriff Eric Craddock has been on the case since Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville home back on February 26th. Since then, hundreds of tips have been investigated, and to date, there still have been no confirmed sightings. In that vacuum, rumors continue to run rampant online from less than credible sources.
Well, it's real easy to sit on social media and make those comments.
Sheriff Craddock says investigators deal with facts, seeking evidence and hard leads. There have been few official updates in recent months, but the sheriff says investigators meet weekly about the case.
I've been pretty transparent. There is some information that's just not releasable, right? And that's only because any information released could be prejudicial to the case. And a successful resolution is my ultimate goal.
There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about Sebastian.
EMA Director Ken Widener has headed up search efforts around Sebastian's home and beyond, from the hands ready to act on any credible lead that comes from the tip line.
We have K9 on standby. We have search teams on standby. We got drones ready to go, and we go.
The question of what happened to Sebastian very much still remains open. And to date, nothing has been ruled out, including the possibility of foul play. And on that note, District Attorney Ray Whitley tells me he gets updates on the case nearly every week, and he does stand ready to prosecute if it ever comes to that. Nick Barris, News Channel 5. No one is giving up. No one is giving up.
It's not a cold case. It's an active and ongoing investigation.
Sumner County Sheriff Eric Craddock has been on the case since Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville home back on February 26th. Since then, hundreds of tips have been investigated, and to date, there still have been no confirmed sightings. In that vacuum, rumors continue to run rampant online from less than credible sources.
Well, it's real easy to sit on social media and make those comments.
Sheriff Craddock says investigators deal with facts, seeking evidence and hard leads. There have been few official updates in recent months, but the sheriff says investigators meet weekly about the case.
I've been pretty transparent. There is some information that's just not releasable, right? And that's only because any information released could be prejudicial to the case.
Right there. We have information, but it won't be released as not to prejudice the case. So who would it prejudice? Katie Proudfoot, Christopher Proudfoot, Seth Rogers, or any other outside sources known or unknown to this family and to this child? There you have it. Out of Sheriff Craddock's mouth. They've got something. What is that? He won't tell us. So we wait. That's my commentary. You see, that's the one thing I've learned about these cases, whether they're dealing with children or adults. Sometimes they do have something, but they don't tell us. They don't give us updates. So you're thinking they're not doing their job. They're inexperienced. They don't know what they're doing. I've heard people say that about Sheriff Craddock, the Sheriff's Department, TBI, FBI. I've heard it with Summer Wells. You don't know what they have. You're just angry because there's no arrest. Some people want a body. Some district attorneys want a body because they don't want the chance of going to court. And you know the defense will put on for their clients. And that's what the defense is going to say. You don't even have a body. So everything is going to rely on the evidence that you have. So that evidence is going to have to be a smoking gun times 20 to say we got urine, fecal matter, blood, something. Bloody hammer, bloody rape, text messages, CCTV footage of somebody somewhere where they lied and said they weren't. You see where I'm going? You're going to have something that's going to make those 12 members of the jury say, oh, okay. But not hypothetical, not circumstantial. Now, a lot of cases are won on circumstantial evidence, but it's still a gamble. And that's why a lot of times the district attorney does not bring forward charges against a person for that reason alone. We don't want to take the chance of the person or persons getting off. Because all you need is one person to hang a jury. Everybody knows this. All you need is one person to say, I don't know. I don't think they did it. I don't think she did it. I don't think he did it. Bloody glove or not. Bloody shoe print or not. Bloody rape. Gun. I don't think he did it. I don't think she did it. It happens all the time. Because what did I say earlier in this live? Everybody has his or her own perception of a situation. And people bring their own personal problems into determining a situation. So all you need is a like mind on the jury panel that has a mindset of the defendants, and you have a fucking problem. They didn't do that. Type. Who looks like the type? Let's keep it real. Who looks like the type that abused a neglected kid? You drive through that neighborhood, there's some very nice houses in that subdivision. There's a guy that has a video, and he drove those streets round and round and round. And I watched that video several months ago. And I mean, these houses are huge over there where they live, okay? Theirs, okay? Much bigger. And when you drive around, you're taking this tour with this guy, you're thinking to yourself, damn, somebody got a little pocket change over here. Somebody's got a good life over here. Somebody's living good over here. But that's not true. That's your perception. Half of those people probably are barely making enough money to pay the mortgage. Got a lot of financial problems and debt, credit card debt, marital problems, mental issues, drug issues, alcohol abuse, don't treat their kids well, wayward children, wayward family members. They got all kind of shit going on because that's just the American way. People are tainted. People are fucked up, jacked up, and they live in nice houses. They have nice cars. They have nice trucks. They have nice boats, but they're fucked up. This family was fucked up in that nice neighborhood, in that nice house. Checkmate. That's why we have a whole kid missing. Because shit's been fucked up. And shit was probably fucked up from California. And that demon traveled all the way from California, Georgia, Tennessee, made landfall. The pot was stirring, until on one fateful evening, I believe somebody put in a plan because the devil was at work. And somebody decided, ×2, it's time to get rid of this kid. I'm done. I'm checking out. I've been checked out. And he was no more. And you fast forward now, 24th of February, there is no Sebastian Rogers visible. No sightings, no nothing. They checked out. And that's what is so interesting about people. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to go. And I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm saying to you. And you're going to see exactly where I'm going if you're woke and paying attention. Summer Wells, still missing 3.5 years later, okay? Her parents were troubled people before they ever met one another, okay? They were troubled people, addicts, drunks, drug addicts, had dealings with DHS, CPS, children removed from each person's custody before they ever met one another. The universe brought Candace Bly and Donald Wells together. They settled here in East Tennessee and played happy family, but the family was not happy. They made 4 children together, 3 boys and a girl. And one day a girl goes missing from the holler after being out with her mom all damn day long. And those boys were left alone, but yet the perpetrator didn't choose them. Stay woke now. The girl looked like a boy. So that's why you have to ask that question. Why were the 3 boys not taken? Come on with it, Queen. They ain't listening. But on this fateful day when the child is gone all damn day with her mama, she comes home, poof, voila, she goes missing. But yet 3 children were there already before she came home, but they didn't get kidnapped. What I'm trying to make you understand is that shit was fucked up before the Wells met one another. That's my point. The Wells were fucked up before they ever knew each other's government name. And the universe brought them together into mayhem. They now have no children. Checkmate. Now, Hendersonville. 2 people already fucked up. They become one. Katie and Christopher. Their baggage, their hangups, their problems, their flaws together as one, like the Wells. Traveling here and there, settle in Tennessee. And poof, voila. The mother's child, a teenager, autistic, spectrum, however you want to word it, goes missing. End of story. CPS calls throughout each one's life before meeting one another. Traumatized childhoods, bad marriages, times Ain't enough on the book. You understand what I'm saying? Are you listening to what I'm saying? All these people were fucked up before they met one another. So when they got together, mischief brewed. It became one. And it's hard for a lot of you to understand that. Because in your mind, you're saying, well, damn, Queen, somebody should have been saying in one of these relationships, the Wells, the Proudfoots. But no, they were not. So that's why it wasn't hard to get the kids gone. Because one thing begat another. Mischief met mischief and became one. And that is why you have a child missing here in East Tennessee by the name of Summer Wells. You have a child missing in Middle Tennessee by the name of Sebastian Rogers. Because two like-minded creatures met and became one. That's my commentary. Please check out my earlier live stream pertaining to if the child made it home with his mother. Very good live. What happened after the steakhouse? I play Court TV's content. Very good interview with Miss Coffin Daffer, retired FBI agent. And she gives her rendition of what she thinks was going on in the mind of Katie Proudfoot while sitting in that restaurant when she kept turning her head, looking around. Was she looking for someone? Was she meeting someone? Was somebody supposed to show up there to meet them? We hear that they were out with friends and family that day. Was somebody supposed to show up? When you watch it in slow motion, she looks very suspicious sitting there in that booth, detached, looking at her phone, allegedly took pictures of the boy. You're entitled to believe what you want about that visit to the steakhouse. But I believe the people were there just eating and dining and minding their business. I believe Katie Proudfoot was up to no good. She was scared. She was shaky-jakey. She was putting the ball in motion to get rid of her boy child. That's what I think. Because as I said, you got to bring a receipt. Now, if there's something that law enforcement knows about that visit to the steakhouse, they're not mentioning it. They're not mentioning it. Matter of fact, they're not mentioning anything. But she looks suspicious sitting in that booth. But the flip side could be she's a nosy Parker. You're not going to know until really you ask the horse. Katie, what were you doing? Looking around in the restaurant? Were you looking for someone? Were you expecting someone? Had you been followed? As we hear Coffin Daffer believes that perhaps she was followed. She has information from a video that she has not released or talked about, allegedly. If she has, I haven't seen it. She believes that perhaps somebody was following Katie Proudfoot. I don't know if I believe that. Everyone's entitled to his or her opinion. But something was going on in the mind of Katie Proudfoot, and the only person that can tell you that is Katie Proudfoot. But she was disengaged. And she's like a lot of people, as I said in that live earlier. A lot of people, when they go out to eat, they are not paying attention to nothing you're saying and what you're doing. You see it all the time. 10, 12 people at tables, and everybody's looking at their phone because that's the world that we're in now. Nobody gives a fuck about anything. People are disengaged. The problems that we have, and that's why we're seeing all this filth and trash playing out on social media, YouTube, Facebook, IG, TikTok, because people are like robots. They don't have a mind of their own. They're mimicking other people. They're disengaged. And I believe this mother has been disengaged for some time. And sadly, her son had to pay. Below this video, like, share, subscribe, follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. Thank you for your time. Prayers to Seth Rogers for the truth and absolution. Prayers to the Sheriff's Department and TBI that they bring us a rest soon so we can end this madness. and move on, because it's time for us to move on. We need the truth. We need answers. We need justice for Sebastian Rogers. And I'm praying that we get it. Live number 3 will be about a young girl, 19 years of age, autistic, nonverbal, found dead in her mother's home, lying on a concrete floor, where everybody is now playing dumb that they did not know she was living in that house, but they were living in that house. Make it make sense. I'll see you later, live number 3 in a couple hours. Thank you for your time. You have been listening to the Vault XL. We're going to get justice for you, baby. We're going to get justice for you. We're going to get justice for Summer Wells. It's only a matter of time. God got it. Because no weapon shall prosper against thee. Nobody that hurts a child of God shall prosper. Amen.